Hey there, have you recently decided that you want to try out Guild Wars 2? Or maybe you're a new player and you're looking for some tips. Well, you're in the right place. My name is Wolfie and I welcome you to my top 10 tips for new Guild Wars 2 players. Starting it off at number 10. As Guild Wars 2 is a game without a dedicated healer role, you should be careful when choosing your profession or your class, specifically for heavy armored characters. Since Guild Wars 2 is a game which does diverge from having the traditional healer role, the heavy armor classes aren't exactly the same as what you may be used to in other MMOs. Normally in MMOs, you would have to tank with some kind of ability that aggravates or provokes enemies, making them focus solely on you. And the class doing that is normally meant to soak up a ton of damage that way. But Guild Wars 2 does not follow that same model, so that's definitely something to keep in mind when making your character. Number 9. Selecting a server. Now, server in Guild Wars 2 does not matter as much as it does in traditional MMOs, and the reason for this is because Guild Wars 2 has mega servers. But note that North America and Europe are entirely separate, meaning North American players and European players will never come in contact with one another as the servers are separated. About the mega servers, those apply to PvE content, player versus everyone, the open world of Guild Wars 2. No matter which individual server you choose, you can interact with any other player that's in the same region as you in the open world. So basically, if you're on a North American server, you can play with anyone else as long as they're on a North American server, no matter the individual server chosen. Now when it comes to PvP, player versus player, it's a little different. You can only interact with people that are on the same individual server as you. So if your server is, say, the Jade Quarry for instance, and you're looking to PvP with your friend, then they will need to be on the same server to PvP with you, meaning they'll need to be on the Jade Quarry as well. Number 8. Once you've made your character and completed the tutorial, take note of the NPCs standing directly in front of you, with symbols like these on your map. These are your merchants, and there are a few different types, but the main thing you want to look at right now are the bags, which this one happens to sell. These bags can go into the slots located on the left of your inventory, which you can access by pressing I or clicking on the icon up at the top of your screen, and they will allow you to carry more items. Now to equip them, you either right click and select equip, or you can drag them over to the panel on the left. Now know that the amount of items that it allows you to carry depends on the specific bag itself, and as you progress throughout the game, you will find bigger bags. Now you won't have the money to buy them right away, but it's something to keep in mind for when you do get some gold. Trust me, you'll want to buy these early on. Number 7. A lot of people are unsure of what to do once they've made their character and gone through the tutorial, and that's because Guild Wars 2 is not like your traditional MMO where you follow a chain of quests or an event quest line. Guild Wars 2 does not have quests. So what do you do after making your character then? Well, you explore. As you explore or wander around the world, you'll come across waypoints, activities, and events which function similar to quests. For example, I was exploring around in this area, and an empty heart icon popped up over this NPC once I got close. If you look on the upper right of your screen, you'll see there is some text that explains what it is that you need to do for this specific activity. Also speak with the NPC who will go further in depth as to what it is they need you to do and give you a little bit of backstory. Once you've completed the heart, simply click the filled heart icon that appears on the lower right side of the screen to collect your reward and read the closing dialogue. A thing to note is that these NPCs turn into merchants whom you can sell stuff to after completing the activity. Also note that sometimes it's a good idea to stick around for a minute or two after completing an event, because what you just did may be a chain activity which leads into another event. So be sure to keep an eye out for any hidden chain events. Number 6. The story mode. How does it work exactly? Well, every 10 levels you will unlock a series of events which furthers your character's personal story. The personal story shows up in the upper right side of the screen, and it will stay there until completed. You can easily tell the difference between text from your personal story or say an event in the area. The reason for that is because your personal story has this green icon by it, and the text is normally green as well. You normally have quite a few of these that you will have to complete before it goes away. So let's say you are level 20 and you just finished all of the available story quests. Once you hit level 30, you will unlock your next set. And that works exactly the same for 40, 50, 60, and so forth. Basically, new story missions every 10 levels. Number 5. As you wander throughout the world of Guild Wars 2, you will find a bunch of trees, mines, and plants which you won't be able to interact with just yet. When you can interact with them, these will give you crafting materials. Crafting materials are something which you will learn about later on in the game, and they are needed in order to make endgame armor and weapons. Now, in order to gather these materials, you need gathering tools, and there are 3 different types of gathering tools. There's an axe, which is used for cutting down trees. There's a pickaxe, which is used for mines. And then there's the scythe, which is used for bushes. As you progress a little further in the game past the starter area, you will find merchants that sell these gathering tools. Once you purchase them, you can equip them in the special slots located in your hero panel, and then you'll be able to interact with these gathering nodes. Number 4. Once you've acquired gathering tools and you have actually started gathering materials, you may notice your inventory filling up pretty quickly. Thankfully, Guild Wars 2 has a special button which can help fix this situation. Basically, what happens with this button is it allows you to automatically transfer gathered materials into a special storage tab which is located in your bank. In order to store the materials, simply open up your inventory and click on the little cog icon located in the upper right corner and select Deposit. Now, if you ever want to access these materials in the future, just look for this money pouch symbol NPC. From there, you can access your materials. You can also access it from the crafting stations such as armor smithing, weaponsmithing, cooking, all of these stations. Now, if you're having trouble finding a banker or these stations, you can always visit one of your major cities where you can access your bank. Number 3. Sometimes when you are doing group events or activities in the open world, you will have to interact or you can interact with certain objects or people, but those objects and people aren't exactly pointed out to you until you click on them. So if you ever find yourself unsure of what to do or who to interact with, hold down the control key, and things that you can interact with in the open world will be highlighted. Also, the Alt key holds a similar effect. If you hold down the Alt key, it will highlight all friendly NPC characters located near you. So be sure to press those keys every now and again when you find yourself needing a little help finding things. Number 2. Dying in Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 has an interesting approach to dying. Instead of outright dying once your health reaches 0, Instead, you enter a down state where you have access to 4 abilities. Some of these abilities can differ depending on your character's class. Normally, the last one, or the one furthest right, allows you to regain some health, and the first one, the one furthest left, is an attack skill. Basically, how the down state works is that you can fight to survive. If you manage to kill an enemy near you while in this state, without your health bar going all the way down, then you'll automatically be revived. But if your health bar does go all the way down, then you die. While in the down state or even dead, you can also be revived by other players in the area. All they have to do is walk up to your body and press the action button in order to do this. You can do this for other players as well. Now, if you do die and there are no other players around in order to revive you, you can revive yourself. Now, in order to do this, you will have to warp to a waypoint on the map, and that will automatically revive you. Now, know that whenever you do die, your armor does get a little damaged, and in order to repair it, you need to speak with the NPC that repairs armor. Number 1. Dodge, dodge, dodge. Guild Wars 2 has a dodge mechanic, and throughout the game, they do not explain just how important it is. You can dodge almost any attack in the game, and you're probably going to want to practice it as much as possible. It's definitely something that will make things a lot easier further down the road. To dodge, what you have to do is double tap any of the directional keys, W, A, S, or D, and your character will dodge in that specific direction. Additionally, you can press the directional key in combination with the dodge key, which is V by default. Now know that you're limited on how often you can dodge. To know when you can dodge, take a look above your health bar. You'll notice a little yellow bar. That's your endurance bar. Endurance regenerates over time, and it's what you use in order to dodge. So be sure to dodge often and keep an eye on that bar. Alright folks, that covers our 10 tips for new Guild Wars 2 players. If you have any friends that are new to the game, be sure to share this with them. And if you haven't tried out Guild Wars 2 yet, I've got a link in the description which will allow you to download it while supporting my channel. Also, remember to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'm Wolfie, and I'll see you next time.